Consider what you've been told about personal finance. For years, the narrative has centered on coffee, specifically, that $12 latte allegedly destroying your financial future. But let's examine this claim critically. Coffee consumption is not your primary financial obstacle. Eliminating daily lattes will not generate sufficient capital for homeownership, eliminate debt burdens, or address fundamental economic structures. The latte myth functions as a distraction mechanism, redirecting attention toward minor spending while systemic issues remain unaddressed. The second directive you've encountered is strict budgeting. Track every transaction, monitor every subscription, document every small purchase. But here's the critical flaw in this approach: detailed budgeting cannot compensate for housing costs that consume 50% of income, healthcare expenses that trigger bankruptcy, or wage stagnation that has persisted for decades. Budgeting serves a purpose, certainly, but fixating on minor expenses while ignoring inadequate income represents a fundamental misdiagnosis of the problem. Then came the side hustle phenomenon. The cultural message became ubiquitous: monetize every spare moment, sacrifice sleep, multiply income streams. But the data reveals something different. Most side hustles generate minimal returns relative to time invested. Some simply accelerate burnout. The distinguishing factor is scalability. Trading hours for dollars, even supplementally, cannot build substantial wealth. What creates wealth is leverage, systems that generate passive income independent of direct time investment. Credit cards represent another misunderstood element. The common assertion is that credit cards inherently create poverty. This is incorrect. The misuse of debt creates poverty. The actual mechanism of harm is compound interest combined with minimum payment structures that extend debt obligations across decades. Credit cards are financial tools. Applied strategically, they build credit scores. Applied carelessly, they construct financial traps that become extremely difficult to escape. Next, consider the subscription narrative. Cancel streaming services, eliminate music platforms, remove any non-essential spending. But the mathematical reality is clear: canceling a $10 monthly subscription does not generate home ownership capital. Eliminating small conveniences does not address the structural cost increases in housing, healthcare, and education. The focus should be on income growth, not on inducing guilt over minimal spending. Inflation is frequently cited as the primary cause of financial difficulty. But this explanation is incomplete. Prices have increased, yes, but the critical variable is wage growth, or rather, the absence of it. Purchasing power has declined systematically because salaries have failed to track with cost increases. This has been occurring for approximately 4 decades. Attributing financial stress solely to inflation obscures the wage stagnation that represents the actual economic failure. Investment avoidance is another barrier to wealth building. The perception exists that investing carries excessive risk, leading to stock market avoidance. But the evidence demonstrates an inverse relationship: not investing represents the greater risk. Compound interest over extended periods constitutes the primary mechanism for building substantial wealth. Index funds and long-term investment strategies offer accessible pathways. Fear maintains financial limitation. Market participation creates opportunity for financial freedom. Home ownership has been positioned as the singular path to wealth building. But this framework deserves scrutiny. Renting is not financial failure. Property purchase is not universally advantageous. In certain circumstances, allocating all available capital to real estate limits opportunities for diversification and liquidity. Wealth generation derives from appreciating assets, not merely from property ownership. Retirement is typically framed as an age-based milestone. Work until 65, then cease employment. But this conceptualization is fundamentally flawed. Retirement is not about reaching a specific age. It's about achieving financial independence. Financial independence means possessing the capacity to make life choices independent of employment necessity. Passive income streams, diversified investments, and strategic financial planning transform retirement from a chronological endpoint into a state of achieved freedom. Now, the systemic reality that underlies all of this. You are not experiencing financial difficulty because of coffee purchases. You are experiencing financial difficulty because wages have remained stagnant while housing has become prohibitively expensive, healthcare costs have escalated to crisis levels, and student loan debt requires burdens that take decades to resolve. The economic system is designed to maintain focus on individual consumption choices, lattes and subscriptions, while fundamental systemic problems remain unaddressed and, more importantly, unchallenged. But here's the empowering part: understanding the system means you can navigate it strategically. You can't control wage stagnation, but you can control your response to it. Focus on increasing your income through skill development, career advancement, or genuinely scalable opportunities. Automate your savings before you see the money. Start investing early, even with small amounts. Compound interest works best with time, not large sums. Build multiple income streams that don't require trading every hour for dollars. Educate yourself on financial literacy, not the guilt-inducing kind, but the kind that teaches you about tax advantages, investment vehicles, and wealth-building strategies the system doesn't advertise. Use debt strategically, not emotionally. Prioritize high-interest debt elimination while building assets simultaneously. Understand that financial freedom isn't about deprivation, it's about intentionality. Most importantly, recognize that personal strategy and systemic awareness are not mutually exclusive. You can work within the system while acknowledging its flaws. You can build your own financial security while advocating for better wages, affordable housing, and accessible healthcare. Individual action and collective change both matter. The path forward isn't about choosing between lattes and financial freedom. It's about redirecting your energy toward what actually builds wealth, income growth, strategic investing, and leveraging time. The system may be rigged, but understanding how it works gives you the tools to succeed anyway. If this perspective resonated with you, subscribe for more content that cuts through financial myths and focuses on what actually works. Drop a comment with the biggest money myth you've been told. Because the truth is straightforward, the problem isn't the latte. The problem is the system. But the solution? That's in your hands.